Welcome to A Slice of Bacon with Matt Bacon, a podcast about movies and television, but mostly movies. It's March 30th, 2016, and today I talk about new casting details regarding the JJ Abrams-produced God Particle, a few new movie trailers, and this week's film releases. But first, if you're not already, become a fan of this podcast on Facebook. Just search A Slice of Bacon Podcast or visit facebook.com/ASOB podcast. And as soon as I have a handle on the show a bit more, I hope to expand the page to have more than just episode updates. So remember, search A Slice of Bacon Podcast or visit facebook.com/ASOB podcast. And with that, let's move on to today's news. The JJ Abrams-produced God Particle has just cast its first two actors, David Oyelowo and Gugu Mbatha-Raw. While their characters are still unknown, the mystery box has been open wide enough to reveal a few other details. The film will be directed by Julius Onah, and according to Variety, centers on a team of astronauts who make a terrifying discovery that challenges all they know about the fabric of reality as they desperately fight for their survival. God Particle will be released February 24th, 2017. So far this movie looks interesting. Oyelowo is great in Selma and extremely charming in interviews, and I only know this because I watched several interviews to learn how to pronounce his last name, which I still don't think I have down perfectly. But he was great in Selma. I did not know he was British when I saw the movie. I had not really heard of him. I went into Selma completely blank. And I was very impressed. He made a great Martin Luther King. I think he's going to be great in this role. I think he's been good in some other voice acting roles that I've heard him in. I can't place exact names, but he's been good. As for Mbatha-Raw, I haven't seen her in anything. She's in Concussion, and I hope to see that movie this weekend from Redbox as it just came out. She's going to be in Disney's live-action Beauty and the Beast. So if she's getting other roles and Disney's hiring her for live action, I don't think she's bad. I hope to see for myself that she's good, but I don't have any frame of reference for myself, so I'm just going to have to assume that she is a good actress. The other interesting thing about this is that Julius Onah is Nigerian, just like Oyelowo, and this is his first feature-length film. And I think that's great. The last J.J. Abrams film, this last one, 10 Cloverfield Lane, had a new director who had not done any other long feature films. And it ended up being a good film from what I've heard. I haven't seen 10 Cloverfield Lane yet. I don't care about spoilers at this point. But hopefully that this J.J. Abrams thing where he's giving new directors a chance works out, and this guy breaks out and does a great film. Now, there are also rumors that this film will be part of the new Cloverfield anthology, and it will tie into Cloverfield and 10 Cloverfield Lane in some way. While I think that would be pretty cool on a everything's connected standpoint, I don't know if that's necessarily the best route to go. 10 Cloverfield Lane got a lot of good reviews, but its box office dropped pretty steadily in the last couple of weeks. And I guess you could attribute that to Batman vs. Superman and Zootopia and all the other great films that are out. But most, if not all of the reviews that I read of the film said don't go in expecting a sequel to Cloverfield. And I think people were let down that this film, that 10 Cloverfield Lane, did not directly impact Cloverfield in any way or directly have any big Cloverfield discoveries. That said, I've never seen the original script for this movie, so I don't know what it's exactly about. All I know is what Variety says. So I'm hoping this is a good film. I'm hoping that the script's great, and I'm hoping that they don't have to change too much if they decide to go the Cloverfield route. And I really don't know if they should go the Cloverfield route, because if it's a good film it should be able to stand alone, especially if it has the Bad Robot and JJ Abrams names attached. I can't wait for a trailer, but we're not going to see that for several months. And with that, let's move on to talking about trailers. There are quite a few more trailers to talk about that have come out this week. And if you want to follow along and watch these trailers yourself, I get mine from Movie Clips Trailers on YouTube. And that, if you just want to type in the URL, it's youtube.com/movieclipstrailers. And with that, let's move on to the first trailer. The Lego Batman movie. I talked about the teaser last week. Well, the first teaser. There are actually 2 teasers now. The first teaser was a bit about showing Batman living his solitary life in the Batcave. This one has a focus on Wayne Manor and his relationship with Alfred. It is pretty funny. I saw this one in 3D in theaters over the weekend, and it looked amazing. I said this last week as well, and I'll say it again. The Lego look that they have in these movies is great. It is perfect, and visually, it's probably going to be the best looking film of 2017. Story-wise, it's too early to tell, but the Lego movie, its look alone was the best looking film of its year, and it didn't even get nominated, so we'll see. Ray Fiennes in the trailer, anything that he's in, I'm going to go see, even if he's just a voice. He doesn't pick bad scripts, so I'm fairly certain that this film is going to be funny, or at least watchable. And the teaser was funny. Batman talking to his parents into the photo was a little sad, in a good way. And then him kicking Alfred and saying, "Sorry, my reflexes are really good," was funny. So was the mentioning every single Batman incarnation, including the weird 60s Batman. I laughed at all of that. That said, the second half of the trailer was pretty stupid, at least in my opinion. The tantrum that Batman throws is, I know it's supposed to be childish, but it was too childish. It went on for a bit too long, and then he turns into beatboxing, and then they do the always be recording joke, which I know it's a movie reference, but first of all, what kid's going to understand that movie reference? And even if you do recognize the reference, what's funny about it? It was a reference for reference sake. It didn't make me laugh. The tantrum made me think, oh no, I hope that this isn't going to happen in the film a lot. Especially since we saw Batman kind of act this way in the first trailer just a little bit. And also, if you end up watching the trailer from Movie Clips Trailers, the little tag at the beginning is not in the theatrical version, which I am so glad about. It's not funny, it's just pretty lame. The movie stars Will Arnett and comes out in 2017. Moving on to our second trailer, Me Before You, which stars Emilia Clarke and Sam Claflin, and it comes out on June 3rd, 2016. Now this is a great trailer. It looks like a good movie, and I suspect it's going to be a good movie. It's going to be a tearjerker. It's going to be a romantic drama. It was adapted from a book. I don't know anything about the book, but from what I know, it's not Nicholas Sparks, and that's a good thing. All these bad movie adaptations from Nicholas Sparks books keep getting made, and they really hurt films like this one that look good, and that I might actually want to see in the theater. Especially when you have a good supporting cast that I recognize. I recognize the girl who played Clara from Doctor Who and Neville Longbottom from Harry Potter. And I'm a sucker for the British accent, especially that of Emilia Clarke's. I don't watch Game of Thrones much, but I really like her. So, will I see this film in the theater? I don't know. This is not one I'm going to go see alone, and seeing as I'm incredibly single, I am probably not going to see this film anytime soon. Especially when I'm not convinced this movie is going to have a happily ever after. But again, great trailer. It's going to be good probably. I'll see it if I get the chance. For my third trailer, I am talking about Alice Through the Looking Glass, starring Mia Wasikowska and Johnny Depp. And it comes out on May 27th, 2016. Now, there's a saying that describes this movie perfectly for me. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Now, this wasn't a badly made trailer by any means, but I am not convinced by this trailer. I saw the first Alice in Wonderland movie, and it tricked me. I thought it was going to be really good. It ended up being really bad. After that experience, this trailer did not look fun. Helena Bonham Carter looks over the top. Sacha Baron Cohen goes a long... sorry about that. Sacha Baron Cohen is annoying. I just don't like him. I've seen him in interviews. I like him when he's playing straight, but when he's playing his characters, a little bit of Sacha Baron Cohen goes a long way. This looks like it's that same Sacha Baron Cohen. I'm going to get tired of him really quickly. And also, Johnny Depp, the only character I can stand him as these days is Captain Jack Sparrow. And while I'm looking forward to the next Pirates movie, I am not looking forward to this. This was one of his over-the-top Tim Burton roles, and as such, he's going to play it the same way as he played the Tim Burton-directed Alice in Wonderland, even though this is not directed by Tim Burton, which is one good thing, and one reason why I don't think this movie is going to be as bad as the original. I think there is still too much CGI in this trailer, in this movie franchise in particular. Nothing looks amazing because everything looks fake. It was nice hearing Alan Rickman, but that's about it. Just because he's dead now and because his voice is in this trailer doesn't mean I'm going to go see the film. Maybe I'll rent it on Redbox, but even that's a bit of a stretch. One thing that really hurt this trailer, and one thing that can hurt any trailer, even a good trailer, is make sure that your last scene is a funny one or a good one or an interesting one. The last scene in this trailer was Humpty Dumpty falling off a desk and dying. That is really not a way to end a trailer. It wasn't funny. It wasn't charming. It was just weird. Didn't make me want to go see the movie more. Made me want to see the movie less. So Disney, please, if you're going to release this trailer in theaters, get rid of that scene. It's a much better trailer without it. Trust me. Now, there are a few other trailers as well, and I'm not going to go in depth about. They're The Invitation, Mother's Day, and Warcraft. A few quick words about each. The Invitation, it looks to be a bit of a suspense film mixed with some horror. The main actor looks a lot like Tom Hardy. I thought it was Tom Hardy for about a minute. Once I saw his face in a long shot for more than 3 seconds, I realized, oh wait, this is not Tom Hardy. You can also tell by the acting skill. Not the same level of skill as Tom Hardy. The film itself, could it be good? Probably. The trailer, it didn't get me excited. That said, these are not the type of films that I love. Mother's Day, it's gonna be a bad film. Trailer does the best it can do with the material, but it's there's not much I have to say about it. I'm not excited about the film. I don't know anybody who would be excited about the film. Will it probably do okay when it comes out? Yeah, because there is an audience for this kind of film. I'm not that audience, though. More power to people who like it, though. As for Warcraft, I talked about this film when they had a longer trailer either last week or the week before. The effects for the film look like they've gotten better. The CGI has been cleaned up, but the same scenes that are shown, there aren't any new plot developments that are showing up. But it looks better than it did 6 months ago. That's great. I hope this film does well. I'm going to go see the film probably, so we'll see when the next trailer comes out. Finally, it's time for the segment of my podcast in which I discuss everything coming to wide release this Friday. Unfortunately, that means I will not be talking about Richard Linklater's new film, Everybody Wants Some, that goes into limited release this week. What I will be talking about are 2 other films. The first is God's Not Dead 2, starring Jesse Metcalfe, David A.R. White, Ray Wise, and Melissa Joan Hart, and directed by Harold Kronk. When a high school teacher is asked a question in class about Jesus, Her reasoned response lands her in deep trouble and could expel God from the public square once and for all. God's Not Dead 2 is a sequel to the original 2014 film, which made $62.6 million at the box office. Now, this is not my type of film. I'm not going to be going to see this. I think I said this last week. I don't see faith-based films unless I have to. If I was getting paid to review the film, I would go see it, but I'm not going to be spending $9, which is what it costs at the theater I live by, to go a little less, actually, $7. I'm not going to pay $7 to see this film. But there is an audience for it. We saw this with Miracles from Heaven, but of course that also had Jennifer Garner and Queen Latifah. That said, the first film did make $8.6 million on its first week. So this film could make it into the top 5 only because both what are they called? Divergent Series Allegiant and Miracles from Heaven, they only made $9.5 million, and they were 4th and 5th place respectively. So I don't see this film doing gangbusters, but I don't see this film doing horribly, especially when the only big film this next weekend that it will be competing with is Batman vs. Superman, which of course is still going to be number 1. Now, the second film is Meet the Blacks, starring Deon Taylor, Mike Epps, and Nicole DeMasi, and directed by Deon Taylor as well. After obtaining a great deal of money, the patriarch of a black family, played by Mike Epps, decide they should move from Chicago to a posh neighborhood in Beverly Hills. However, they are soon terrorized by home intruders who want them out of this affluent community in the comedic spoof of the Purge films. Now, spoofs are very unpopular. We saw this last year with 50 Shades of Black. That movie did horribly, got horrible reviews. In fact, this film, along with God's Not Dead 2, have no reviews out yet, and the movies come out in 2 days. So this is not going to be a film that does very well, especially when it's playing wide release and it's not even in my city. The only film of the two that's coming out in my city is God's Not Dead 2. Meet the Blacks, the closest theater that's playing this movie is about 20 minutes away, so it's not in as many theaters as most films are. So it probably will not break the top 5. Again, this is also another film that is not my kind of film. I would not go see it unless I was seeing it to review it. But I am not reviewing it, so I won't be seeing this film. I won't be seeing God's Not Dead 2. This is going to be another weekend that mirrors last weekend. No film's going to make as much as last weekend. Box office is going to go down for Zootopia, Batman vs. Superman, all of the films. It's just going to be interesting to see how much of a change there is in the box office compared to last week. So that is the end of my Wednesday episode. I will be taking Twitter questions and answering them on Monday if you send them to me. You can send them via Twitter at BaconRelatedPun with the hashtag ASOB, or you can email me your questions at asliceofbaconpod@gmail.com. I will talk to you all on Friday. Have a nice day.